Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Misha Danielle. If you are new to my channel, let's wait. I need you to go ahead and click subscribe as well as click the notification bell to be updated and notified each time I upload a new video here on my channel. So today I'm gonna do something a little bit different with you guys. I am going to do a story time. Now look, I was real neglected on doing this because sometimes with flashbacks, you try to move on from stuff and you don't want to think about it no more. But I thought, you know, if I did this video, I could probably reassure somebody that what I experienced is not okay. Let me do like a little PSA or whatnot, disclaimer or whatever. But if you suspect that you are being stalked, I need you to not, please don't ignore it. If there are signs that somebody is stalking you, following you, or tracking you, whatever, any form, whether it's physical or it's something to do with online, whatever, please do not ignore it, okay? Just don't. So let's go ahead and get to this story time. So this goes back until when I was in college in my 3-bedroom apartment, and I had 2 other roommates, but they had moved out. One roommate, she graduated that December, and the other one, she did not renew her lease, so it was just me and her, and that was an empty bedroom. And so from January to, I would say like May, a little bit sometime over the summer, I lived in that apartment all by myself. So nobody ever moved in. She didn't get a subleaser. So it was just me and 2 extra bedrooms. And it was cool. Like all my friends had graduated. I was like one of the last ones to graduate. And they had moved on. And I was just by myself. But I was like, yeah, I like this. I got my own little apartment. Life is great. So what happened was, it was a bad winter. That December, like when my friend had graduated, it was just so cold. It was so much snow. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a rough one. I'm by myself. I'm just gonna be in this apartment till I graduate, because I graduated that following May. So let's start with January. We had just had a winter storm. And wait, whoa, let me back it up. Let me give you some little backstory on my apartment complex. So I had a very large apartment complex, and it was one of 3. I stayed in, I would say like the top one. And what happened was, that senior year, my apartment was under completely new management. Not much had changed, but of course with new management does come with staff changes. So I was used to like the regular groundskeeper, the regular maintenance man around there. So when the new complex or the new management occurred, those men, they were out. So I don't know if they got a pay cut, they were told, you all gotta go. I don't know, but I will say like that fall, it was different people, but I never noticed them. I just knew I didn't see the regular guys surveying the property. No biggie, right? I mean, it's okay, people move on. Okay, no biggie. So here comes January. We had this big storm, and I noticed in the parking lot, there was a particular maintenance guy. He was like, normally like the old crew, they worked as a team, but this guy, he worked by himself. So I noticed he was outside my apartment one day just salting the sidewalks, because like I said, it was a storm, it get real slippery, nobody want to sue or anything like that. So he was salting the property. I just noticed he was there, but he was moving rather slowly. But you know, some people just want to take their time, so I thought nothing of it. So what happened was, I started seeing him more often, and like he would ride around on a golf cart, and he would just, you know, do different stuff. It wasn't really much to do in the winter other than like salting the property, shoveling, if that, but they had contractors and stuff to do all those things. But he was around. So I noticed that every time I went outside, because I took a bus, like my apartment complex was so convenient. One bus would take you straight to the campus. It was perfect. So every time I would go to like the bus stop, I would see him, but I only saw him in one area. Now our apartment complex is so big, but I only saw him like, you know, under the rest of the area. So because I only saw him, like I lived in building 6. He was always either in front of building 6, I live in the front of building 6, or he was always on like the side and next to building 5. So no big deal, right? But it was just odd. Like, why do I always see him when I get off the bus when I go on the bus to go to class, and I'll be gone for like 4 hours at a time, or when I'm back from work, he would still be around. And it was just really, really strange. So one day I had came home from school, and I had made dinner, I was watching TV, and there was a knock at the door, and I'm like, who could be at the door? Like, I'm not expecting no company. And you know, since I live by myself, it was kind of like odd. So I just, you know, I looked through the little peephole, whatnot. But before I could do that, the door is opening on me. I'm like, whoa, how'd you get in here? So it's the same guy I had been seeing for a couple of weeks. He comes in like,
hey, sorry to interrupt. You have trash on your balcony and that is not allowed
here. And I'm looking like, trash? I live in the front. Like, you see my balcony from the front of the building, so you could see if I had trash or not. And I'm looking at him like, no sir, I don't have any trash. And I noticed in his hand was a key card. My apartment was so fancy, like to unlock the door, you didn't have to use the key. You was one that gave you a key card. And so you just like hold it up, almost like the hotels do. And it would scan through. So I'm like, oh, he has a key to everybody's apartment, or only mine? Like, that was very strange. So I told him he had the wrong apartment. I don't keep trash on there. I throw my trash away. So he was like,
oh, okay. All right, sorry about that.
And I'm like, okay, no problem. And I shut the door. And at this point, I'm looking through the peephole, and he was about to go back down the stairs because I live on the 3rd floor. But he turned around and went to my neighbor's apartment. I'm like, wait a minute, why did he have to think about it? So he went and knocked on their door, and they were international students. They barely spoke English, and he trying to explain to them that they have trash. And I'm saying, like, is this a made-up story? Like, something was really, really off about the story with the trash. So moving on, you know, that night I still thought that was strange. And then I think they got off work after like 5 or 6. So I knew he couldn't be around the complex anymore. So I said, okay, I'll let it go. But I'm like, oh, tomorrow he'll be back, because he literally was there every single day. So, not except weekends. I don't remember seeing him on the weekends. So I move on, and then the next day I'm going to class. It was bright and early too. And he's in the middle of the parking lot, but he's not doing anything. He's standing there. And so it was just very strange. I'm like, here he is again in front of my building, building 6. He's not doing anything. He's just standing there. And he wore the same like coat and pants every day. He wore like these khaki Carhartt pants and matching coat. And it was like very bulky. But again, the winters were really harsh that year. And so I saw him, and then that evening when I came back, it was a little bit like, I would say a little bit after 3, because I would do like different internships and all that. And I would come back, and he would be lurking around my building again. This time he was sitting on like the golf cart, but he was not doing any work. So time goes on, you know, no more encounters. He never spoke anything, but I always let him know, like, I know you're here, I'm watching you. So moving forward, I would say about a couple weeks later, I'm doing laundry, but I did not put my clothes in the dryer. So that I did like laundry that morning. I had like, not evening, but like afternoon classes, so I was able to do more stuff. And I had to make my lunch and all that. So I said, okay, well, I'm just gonna take the clothes and put them in the dryer while I'm still here, while I wait till after I come back from class. So I'm doing that, and I hear my door. Now, because my door, like I said, it has like a key fob you use, almost like a card, that when you're about to gain access or entry into the building or the apartment, you hear this beep, and it's like this loud thing, because the key is activating, or the card is giving you access to the door. So the door makes this loud noise. Like, oh my goodness, somebody's walking here. I got so scared. I grabbed like a pot or a pan. Like, I needed to defend myself. And so it's the guy again. And he says,
oh, I'm just checking the property right now, making sure there's no trash.
And I'm like, here you go with the trash. And I'm like, first of all, I had to hurry up. I think I was like half naked or something. I had to hurry up. When I heard that key, I dashed from my room door to grab a robe. I come out, and he's about to come into my door, and I'm like, sir, you cannot enter my apartment like this. And I said, I don't do that. Like I told you, I don't put trash on my balcony. I throw it away. I don't do that. It's trifling, really. So he walked out immediately. It was no, I'm sorry about that, none of that. So I got so upset. I called the leasing office. They were on the campus as well. So I called and I wanted to report that their employee is gaining entry into my apartment unannounced, not this time, not even knocking. And they say, well,
he shouldn't have a key.
I'm trying to describe what he looks like. I mean, his description was so easy. He wore the same stuff like every day. And they're saying, well, he shouldn't have a key. Well, I'm saying, well, he does have one. He's into my apartment. And this is a problem. This is invasion of privacy. So they say they apologize for it and they say it won't happen again. And so I try to trust them, but at this point I'm like, this new management, they're terrible, because I had lived in an apartment for like 3 years, and the previous company, you know, they wouldn't dare let nothing like that happen. Like if there was a maintenance issue, even though they had a key, they would knock and let me open the door, and they would tell me like, are you going to be home? If you're not, do we have your permission to enter your apartment? So I got really leery. Luckily, the bedroom doors, well, my roommates moved out, so their doors were open, but their rooms were completely empty, except the furniture that comes to the apartment. But luckily, we were able to lock our doors, and I made sure before I went to work, before I went to class, or any internship, that I locked my door. I would double check the door, because I said I wasn't leaving anything valuable in the living room, in the kitchen, or the hallway. That was the only areas he could gain access, because I said he did it once, he's going to, and twice, he's going to do it again. So I want to do my daily routine. Here it comes 2 days later. It was like a pattern. He barges in again. And this time, I don't think he knew I was home. So I felt like I was being watched. So he barges in again. He looks at me. I'm sitting on the couch, and the door is right by my couch. I look at him, and I'm all frantic like this. And he immediately dashes out and goes down the stairs. So I called a company like he just walked in. Not the company, but the leasing office. Like, he just walked in my apartment again. What are you guys going to do? So it was a different person this time, and like the same thing, they said
he should not have a key. He doesn't work for maintenance or anything. He just oversees the property and does, you know, a few things like that.
But nothing serious. He's not, you know, he's not an electrician, none of that, no trade. So I described him. I even started taking pictures of him, because I saw him every day. I was like, well, if they don't know who I'm talking about, here's a picture. So he wouldn't know I was doing it, because, you know, when you have your phone out, you could take pictures. But he didn't know that I was doing this. And I had plenty of pictures of him, so if something happened, I can give a description and I can show the picture. So lastly, he did not enter my apartment anymore, at least that I know about. Now, I can't say he didn't enter the apartment when I was in class or anything like that, but he did not enter it during when he knew, because he knew I was there. So what he would do, he would still look around the property, and that was very scary. Like, I promise you, from January up until springtime, I saw him every day, and it was the most scariest thing, because I'm trying my best to live my normal life. I know I had to be up there for school. I knew I was graduating, I had to get serious, but to know that somebody's like going into your apartment and invading your personal space, your privacy, was the most scariest thing ever. And it was just odd. And I'm, you know, like, if you feel like you're being stalked, please, like I mentioned earlier, please do something about it. People are crazy, and people, like, they get fixated. If there's somebody or something that they're really interested in, people who are stalkers and all that stuff, they will, like, observe. They want to keep watching you. They're infatuated with you. And I felt like he had some type of infatuation or something over me, and it was the most scariest thing. I'm like, I sleep here at night. He knows where I live. He knows the apartment unit. He stalks me outside. It was just so very strange. And I was kind of upset with the leasing officer not taking this more seriously. I guess somebody, the second person I talked to, finally did something about it, but that was scary. I mean, I'm just trying to graduate. That's all I was trying to do, was just graduate. And I did, you know, that May I did. And I'm gonna tell you too, I didn't see him anymore. Like I said, after the winter was over, he didn't come around, so I guess he quit, because he, you know, he on stalking on to the next one or whatever. But I was so happy to be out of there, because I just felt so uncomfortable. I was living by myself, and every little noise, I'm like looking and listening. It was just, I was like, I was on edge. And I would tell my friend who lived in the next building over about him, and she would be like, he not doing nothing to me. And I'm like, that's him. Every time we went outside together, if I would see him, I would say, that's him, that's the guy, that's him. And she'd be like, what, why you acting like that? I'm like, no, that's him. And she wouldn't realize, like, that's a stalker. Like, he's invading my space. So that's my story time, guys. I just feel like, you know, it is kind of scary when you live in like apartments, because so many people live within that unit and that space, and people do prey on other people and they look at them, and it could be dangerous. Luckily enough for me, like I said, I locked up my valuables, so I did not get robbed, attacked, any of those things, and it could have been so much worse, but thankfully it wasn't, so that was always good. But if you like this story time and you guys want more story times, comment down below and let me know. Also, I've now created an Instagram just for my channel. You can follow me at MishaDanielle_, and I'm going to try to like include snippets of videos and you guys can interact with me more. So I'm so excited for that. So again, make sure you guys click subscribe as well as click the notification bell to be updated and notified each time I update and upload a new video here on my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.